Okay, is this thing on? Cool. Okay, I think so. Awesome, thank you. All right, so hello everyone. My name is Amaya. I'm a fourth of Climate Action SMC, and we're very grateful to be here today and have this platform to talk about today's theme of environmental justice. We are a LaSallian school, meaning that we follow the mission of Jean-Baptiste de La Salle, including his 5 LaSallian core principles. The first of these principles is concern for the poor and social justice. Concern for the poor and social justice. It doesn't matter what religion you do or do not follow. I believe there's inherent value in this principle, regardless of religious affiliation. You might wonder, how does this principle, concern for the poor and social justice, relate to the climate crisis? The UN refers to climate change as a threat multiplier, meaning that any already existing threats or issues in the world, climate change makes worse. This includes violence against women, widening socioeconomic divides, and yes, racism. There was an article published in mid-April that showed historically red-line districts have more oil and gas wells. In case you might not know, redlining was the governmental practice of ranking neighborhoods based on property values and who they deemed worthy to receive loans. One of the outcomes of redlining was that it became easier for the federal government and private lenders to bar the people in these red line neighborhoods, who were primarily low-income Black and brown people, from getting home loans or buying homes outside of the red line. Still today, these historically red line districts lack green spaces, have higher rates of poverty and racial segregation, and according to the article, have more oil and gas wells. This is a problem because proximity to oil and gas wells results in increased exposure to toxic pollutants, and these toxic pollutants increase the likelihood of respiratory diseases, pregnancy complications, asthma, heart disease, and even cancer. It's no coincidence that oil and gas companies, who are well aware of how harmful these pollutants are, choose to drill in certain neighborhoods instead of others. Let's take another example here in the Bay. A lot of you are probably familiar with highways 580 and 880. 580 runs through Oakland Hills, which has predominantly white upper-class residents. 880 runs through East Oakland, where primarily working-class people of color live. One of these highways has a ban on big rig trucks, meaning that the residents who live along this highway have lower exposure to diesel exhaust that can make them sick. The other highway has no such ban. It receives the diverted traffic from all the accompanying diesel exhaust and pollutants. The residents along this highway have higher exposure to black carbon, higher rates of hospitalization for asthma, and live 7 years less than people who grew up near 580. Can you guess which highway doesn't have the truck ban? It's 880, the highway that runs through East Oakland. The people who live along 880 have lives that are just as valuable as those who live in Oakland Hills. They have the same right to clean air and water as the people in Oakland Hills or San Francisco or Flint, Michigan, or Miami or New Orleans or Bangladesh or Tanzania or Chile. Yet too often, companies and the government and people in positions of power decide that some lives are expendable and that some people's health and wellness are worth risking for profit. This is environmental racism, a system continuing and profiting off of racist housing policies, racist notions of which lives are more valuable, and actively deciding to put some people in harm because of it. I mentioned concern for the poor and social justice earlier. I implore St. Mary's to consider the effects of the oil and gas industry on people all over the world who experience racism and as such have more limited political, social, economic, and environmental mobility. Caring about the planet is caring about social and racial justice. It is living our school's mission. I deeply value this LaSallian core principle, and our school and our decision makers should as well. Thank you.
Now is mine on? Okay, yes. Hi, I'm Payton. I'm a 1/4 of Climate Action SMC, and as Daniel mentioned, oh my gosh, we've all been given kind of interesting information of what do you do? Do you be more radical? What way do we want to send our message? Do we want it to be for the students? Do we want it to be for prospective students? And one thing that has really stood out to me is on the first day of school, during the week of welcome, I got a shirt that said St. Mary's Cares. Now, I know it's not for this purpose exactly, but I've been thinking about that. St. Mary's Cares. But what does it mean for St. Mary's to care? So I decided I want to address this to prospective students, those who have not started here yet, some who may not even have been born. I want to acknowledge the privilege I have standing here today. I'm a white woman from a middle-class family, and in a few short weeks, I will be a college graduate. While I am here standing, I wonder how many children across the United States are wondering if they will have the same opportunities I have. I bring this up because one of the most significant privileges I've had in my life is that my life has not been affected by environmental racism. Leslie Rubin's research states children are at greater risk for environmental factors than are adults. Children breathe more air, drink more water, and eat more food for their body weight than adults. So their exposure load through polluted air, water, and soil is greater. What does this mean? Why am I worried about children? The impacts of racism have created areas in which people of color have their very existence threatened. Flint, Michigan is one of the most common examples, and that's an easy fix, right? Just give people water. Like my beautiful friend Amaya just said, there are 149 oil refineries in the United States. Richmond and Martinez in our own backyard. In 2012, the refinery in Richmond sent 15,000 individuals to the hospital due to an explosion. A gas leak, sent all of Richmond High School home in October due to a flare-up from the Chevron refinery. If these are just a few examples of specific instances in which thousands of people have to go home, I can't imagine how much each day of toxins must be like in their life. Now I'm going to give you a statistic. Are you ready? I want you to remember this statistic. What if I tell you that 77,000 to 131,000 additional deaths in children will occur due to climate change malnutrition by 2030? 45% of children dying in 2030 will be from climate change malnutrition, according to the World Health Organization. Yeah, we want to give the world to our kids, but people's kids aren't going to live that long, and that bothers me. That really concerns me. So sure, St. Mary's cares. That's what they do. But I want St. Mary's to care more. I want to see St. Mary's invested in companies that care about children, that care about our futures. I want to see them invested in companies that are not contributing to the climate crisis, like Chevron and other big oil companies. But maybe that's just me. I want to leave the planet for my kids, for your kids. But if we don't hold institutions accountable for their impacts on climate change, our children are going to suffer the consequences of our inaction. So I'm doing this for my kids. I'm doing this for your kids. I'm doing this for our kids. Thank you.
All right, now, so I am on. Okay, that works. So hello, I'm Thomas, one of the 4 members of Climate Action SMC, standing up here on the stage, about to give a speech to you. It's been a little bit since we've been up on this stage, 1 semester in fact, and some, but really not that many things have changed. We've gained a little bit of legitimacy, meeting with the members of the St. Mary's administration a couple times and all, which is all fine and well, except this does not solve our main issue. We are running out of time to take action on climate change. Every hoop we have to jump through, every meeting that falls through, every instance where we are not taken seriously further delays us getting to take action against climate change. We might be a small school, but if we don't make change, then who will? It falls on us. We are the ones that have the ability to outlast and out-engineer the effects of climate change. You've heard many examples of the effects of environmental racism, and I have another one to share. You may have heard that a massive heat wave is scorching South Asia, with temperatures climbing to as high as 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Or in other words, it's hot enough to kill people. Whereas for us here in America, we may be suffering from a bit of sun, we're all out in the sun, getting a bit hot. But once this is all done, we'll all retreat back indoors into the nice air conditioning, where none of us will truly be in danger, as long as we can last for another hour or so out here. That's environmental injustice right there. the difference in ability to make sure that we can survive depending on what the climate throws at us. We have to work for a better future climate-wise for us all, no matter how small of a change we think we may be making. St. Mary's doesn't have the ability to decide once and for all that everyone must take the environment seriously. But if we don't stand up here and now, who will? This might be a big challenge, but I know that we are up to the task for it. This semester, as you've heard previously, we unanimously passed an Associated Student Senate resolution in favor of divestment. We've hit over 500 signatures on a petition to show the St. Mary's administration that the students care about St. Mary's taking action. The support for climate action is here and present, but it becomes an issue of the administration hearing our voice, that the students of St. Mary's want the environment, as well as any other issue we have on campus, to be prioritized. Thank you.
Testing. Okay, good. Hi, everyone. As you probably guessed, I'm the fourth member of this group, and I'm going to do a little dance. Just kidding, I'm also going to read a speech. So we're here to talk about our baby, divestment, which has been a bit of a slow-moving campaign. So I appreciate you all being out here today. You're all smart over there in the shade. Good thinking. And for all of us baking over here, it's only going to get, oh, you're getting tan. Okay, I see you, yeah. But it's going to get worse, like Thomas said, and for certain demographics more than others. So that's why we're here today. Okay, now I'm going to read this baby. Okay. As some of you may know, our group, Climate Action SMC, has been working this year to encourage St. Mary's to divest from fossil fuels. This initiative began in 2019 thanks to Professor Stephen Wolpert, who submitted a divestment resolution to the Academic Senate. His resolution passed, as did our sister resolution, which we submitted to the Academic Senate this February. We are thankful to the Academic Senate for taking up this cause. At the same time, we have been given little reason to believe that our resolution will be picked up by the administration and treated seriously. All those empty chairs, President Plum, Anthony, where are you? Okay, that was not in the speech, but so while we appreciate the administration's openness to dialogue with us, canceled meeting after canceled meeting has been enough to dampen the hope and enthusiasm we set out with. We do not get the sense the administration, no, did I read that? It really cares or takes us seriously. In February, we were promised a 30-minute meeting with the president, members of his staff, and Kim Vogel, vice chair of the Board of Trustees and chair of the Investment Committee. This meeting has not happened yet. We understand that change takes time. We also understand that people are dying, with specific demographics more at risk than others, as we touched on earlier. We can schedule meetings until the cows come home. We can pass several more resolutions, but at a certain point, we need someone with power to take a stand, to understand that we are not going away, and neither is climate change or environmental racism. No, our group is not experts on investing. I'm talking to you, that one finance major who dismissed our mission with a laugh. You're right. We do not know everything, hence our collaboration with the Finance Club, who are working with us to draft a reinvestment plan for when the college divests. We are not all-knowing, but we care about the climate and we care about our school. We care whether or not it reflects the values it professes. For instance, its expressed goal found in theme number 3 in the college's 5-year strategic plan to, quote, advance our regional leadership in environmental sustainability and environmental justice. As Professor Wolpert argued back in 2019, a message we have tried to reiterate and incorporate in our campaign now, quote, divestment won't cause even a blip in the stock market, but that is beside the point. Divestment isn't designed to destroy. It is designed to save. And what is imperiled here is the integrity of the college. I am not going to make financial arguments right now. What good is a healthy endowment fund if there are no students around to attend your school? Our divestment campaign is small, like Thomas said, yet at the same time, there is no such thing as small change. The South African divestment movement of the 70s and 80s is a great example of when institutional level change ended up making a huge difference in the entire world. After enough universities and colleges convinced their boards of trustees to pull their stock from corporations doing business in South Africa, the panic companies quickly pressured the South African government to desegregate and end apartheid. As the South African theologian and anti-apartheid and human rights activist Desmond Tutu remarked of the movement, "There is no greater testament to the basic dignity of ordinary people everywhere," that's us, than the divestment movement of the 1980s. That was institutional level change, and it changed the world. If ever there was time for another mass divestment campaign, it's now. There's more. School is almost out. Yay. And 3/4 of our team is graduating, but I am not worried. We will get our meeting and many more. We are not going away. I got dramatic. It was 1 a.m, but bear with me. We are not going away. I'm going to follow this campaign until the day I die. Ooh. Dramatic? Maybe, but I'm a politics major and theater minor. Did you expect anything different? I'm grateful for St. Mary's turning me into the active, engaged citizen I am today, and I am thankful for the school's charge, enter to learn, leave to serve. But St. Mary's would do well to let students start the service while we are here. After all, we love our school and only want to see it get better and better each year. So that we are frustrated, this campaign comes from a place of love, not hate. So what can you do? Help us sustain pressure on the administration. Email them. Go to their office. Find them in the hall. They can't hide. That would be rude. Tell them you care. And alongside such efforts, be cognizant of the myriad manifestations of environmental injustice around you, and do not resign yourself to it just because it doesn't seem like it directly affects you. As American theologian and environmentalist James Cone once said, "If we save the planet and have a society of inequality, we wouldn't have saved much." Thank you. Okay, now we get to do something interactive, which I know everyone loves. So Daniel is going to bring rocks forward. And if any of you would like to express your support for divestment, we invite you to come and place a rock in this circle up here. Yeah, I'll do it first so it's not awkward.
Come on down, people from the shade. If you feel strongly about divestment, you'd like to see St. Mary's divest fossil fuels, sell off their stocks that are in Chevron, Exxon, etc., and reinvest them in carbon neutral or ideally green technology, come on down. Performers, you too, if you feel good about that proposition, come on down.
And remember, we can see where you are.
Hey, Greg, wait up on.